All right. Hello, my name is John Lewis, and you're listening to the next episode of the Autism Athletics podcast. And today I have a friend of mine named Buddy Reeves who has been involved with youth sports in several different ways. So please give it up for Buddy Reeves. I grew up playing upward basketball at your church, Powder Springs First Baptist,
Right.
and a couple other churches, but that was the main one I played at. And for those of you that don't know what upward basketball is, will you just explain that to the people? What upward
Yeah, I'd
sports
be
are?
glad to.
Yeah, just upward sports in general, not just basketball.
Upward Sports was birthed in the heart of a guy named Kaz McCaslin. He had a recreation center at his church and began a basketball league to reach boys and girls for Christ, using basketball as a gospel opportunity. And it grew so fast, he went from like 200 to 800 in just a matter of a couple of years. He actually built a second facility to try to house it. Then the good Lord led him to develop into a program that other churches could duplicate. And last check, I saw there were a couple of thousand churches throughout North America, even some international now. They're using Upward Sports to reach boys and girls and their families for Christ. They have flag football, basketball, soccer, and a very few churches do baseball. But basketball, I think, is the biggest one number wise. It's a great opportunity. It involves a lot of volunteers from your church to meet families and to meet boys and girls and use sports and just have a great time. It's a great tool.
All right, so I've got several questions. I'm looking so forward to talking more upward. So, how would a church get involved with upward?
Well, it'd be pretty simple. They can just go to upward.org and contact whoever. I've been retired from Upward for a couple of years, so I don't know the names of the contact person now, but upward.org, and there'll be a box to check a new church or interest, and someone will reach out to you. Or you can go on the website and put in Upward churches in your area, and you contact a local church who's already doing the sport, and they could give you in. At our church now, it's a John, I don't know if you remember a guy named Adam Sears.
Yes, I
Adam's
helped
about,
out with him one year.
oh, good, yeah. So Adam is now directing our upward basketball program at First Baptist Church, Powder Springs. They can reach out to Adam, or again, just go directly to their website.
So, how did you and your church get involved?
Oh, that's a great question. I've been in sports recreation ministry since I was 15 years old. I started working at a YMCA camp, using camping experiences in sports. And I went to work to the East YMCA in Montgomery, Alabama. Again, using it as a ministry opportunity. That's the YMCA in Montgomery back in the 60s, 70s was definitely a Christian organization and used their abilities to reach kids for Christ as well. So that's say that our church, Pastor Mike Woods went to another church that already started upward basketball, and his son played, and it just kind of, I guess you'd say, lit a spark in my pastor's church at that time. And so he began to talk to the elders, the deacons, and leaders and church members about moving forward with building project to build a Christian Life Center. And one of my best friends, Alan Davis, was on staff as associate pastor. And during this time period of several years, I was actually out of ministry world and was working in the business world, volunteering at my church and still doing sports for kids as a volunteer. So literally, it's a great answered prayer story. I don't know if you ever heard it, John. I was out jogging on a Saturday afternoon, and I was praying to the Lord to get back into sports ministry. I wanted to go back to a church that had upward sports and be a minister there. And while I'm praying, Alan Davis calls my house. My wife answers the phone. And he asked that very question: does Buddy want to get back in the ministry of sports? And my wife says, I don't think so. Because she liked the job I had and the career I had and living in Montgomery, Alabama. But very quickly, I knew right away that God was going to lead me back to ministry. So it really was born to pastor's heart. He presented to the church. My friend Alan prayed, and God told him to call me, and I called him back and said, yes, I'll be there tomorrow. But that's how it all started for me at First Baptist Powder Springs.
That's awesome. So, what's the next question? So, if you wanted to do, say, upward let's just say basketball, for instance. Like, what would go into that? Like, you need coaching. Like what all do you need?
And well, you need a lot of volunteers, lots and lots of volunteers. Uh, at the very most, you need 2 coaches per 10 players. Hopefully, as a director, whoever you might be, you'd really want less than 10 players on each basketball team to give all the players a better chance to play more often, get more playing time. But Upward provides a great organizational chart, provide devotional materials, Bible study materials, and the rules. There are special rules to Upward basketball that make the game more fun, more equitable for each kid, allowing the kind of beginner kid to have as good a chance to play as the all-star. So if I told my coach early on in training, we have a coaches meeting, a very nice workbook that was generally about 100 pages. Of course, nowadays it's all online. I don't know if they have printed coach books anymore. But it would literally would tell you, say, for the first 5 minutes, do some exercise. Then 5 minutes, have a game where the players meet each other. Then in the next 10 minutes, have several drills, basketball drills, dribbling drills, shooting drills, defensive skill drills. And then how to divide the team into opportunity to have a scrimmage, play a game or two within your team. So it's just simply broken down. If you have a desire and you can read, you can be a good Upward basketball coach. But let me tell you how it just went. I should have mentioned earlier. I'm sure you're going to ask this question. How did it grow in our church?
Yes, that's a good question.
Yeah. Well, the first year they started it this winter before I got there at a borrowed church. I think we had 150 kids and a couple of cheerleaders that year. I came in next year, we had 250. The next year we had 375. I kind of guess our members. Within 5 years, believe it or not, we had 700 boys and girls playing Upward basketball or being a
Wow,
cheerleader for Upward basketball.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and so a lot of people asked me or said to me, "You shouldn't pray for so many children." I said, "I don't ever pray for any number of children. I pray for coaches. If God's going to send me 100 players, then I ask the Lord to send me 10 coaches. If He's going to send me 300 players, I ask Him to send me 30 coaches, because it's a matter of organization after that." And of course, when we got to that huge number, we were using 3 gyms and running 8 in the morning till 8 at night with games, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it every second of it. I don't know how I did it. I'm shocked that I was able to pull it off.
So, a couple years ago, I helped Adam Sears. I wanted to help coach a team, so I ended up
Yeah.
being, I guess you could say, an assistant coach, and I did the 4-year-olds. Yeah, he stuck me with the 4-year-olds.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, that's fun.
yeah, it was really fun. I enjoyed it. We had we had like 4 or 5 guys and one girl, and she actually ended up being the best player on the team. But I remember going through doing the like the little like skills you have to do before you get on a team. Like the little, I guess you could call it tryouts. But
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
just explain to people what that is and how do you pick who goes on what team?
Yeah, again, Upward provides I guess called an evaluation process that entails about 6 different skills, if I remember, how well they could dribble, how they could play defense, how well they could shoot, and things like that. So Upward has a program. You just follow that. What'll happen first, you obviously got to advertise and get kids to sign up. And then you have an assigned day for each, say, grade group. So like Mondays from 6 to 8, all first, second graders will come and do an evaluation. Then maybe on Tuesday, your third and fourth graders might come, boys and girls, and do the evaluation process. And then each time they go through a skill, they get a score, and then you enter those scores in the provided Upward program, computer program, and it takes all the numbers and just creates equal teams. So you can't stack a team. There's never a draft. Coaches often will get their own son to play, and our assistant coach or daughter might play with them as well. But otherwise, it's a totally computer generated program. Coaches don't get to pick or draft anybody they want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure how that works. So it kind of tries to even it out somewhat.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like say you got 100 kids and 50 of them score 90 on the evaluation. Well, you can't put all five of those kids on the same team. You put those, you divide one on every team you got, and then take the next high score, put them on there, and the next high score. So you should have each team, if you total the scores of each player, should be about the same. Let's say you
Okay.
had 7 players, added all their scores together, say you had 430. If I had 7 players, add all my scores together, it should be somewhere around 400, 450, so somewhat equitable. Uh, how that works.
Yeah, I like that. It makes for more competitive.
Oh
I don't.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
We don't
don't
want
think that.
any blowouts.
I don't think that's fair in kid sports when one team is way better than the other. That's no fun for the kids.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful. It gives them a bad taste. If you do that too often, children will just quit.
I
Like
agree.
they'll just quit coming. Nobody. But I'll tell you one that's a funny story. We had a girls' league years ago, third and fourth grade girls, and we combined with several other churches to have a good sized number of teams. I would just say that one of the churches and the director didn't play by the rules, and he had a very loaded third and fourth grade girls team. I mean, these were big girls, and they were fast, and they could play basketball. In our church, we had a bunch of little bitty girls that were still had bows in their hair and wore pink socks to the game, that kind of stuff. Well, in an easy game, they first game we played, they beat us 30 points. Our girls we didn't get any rebounds because girls were 6'8", 10 inches taller. And
Yeah.
every time we tried to go down court, they just steal it and go the other way. So believe it or not, that's the first time I've ever done this. I hadn't done it since. I called that coach and said, "We will not play another game against your team. It's you stack the team. It's unfair. I've got a bunch of little bitty girls. You got a bunch of giant girls. Take your team and go to the recreation league." But because
Right.
it just ruins everything.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Um, I- so I know Upward. I've always said it's a great place. Like specifically when I played basketball, I knew it's a great place to start because you start at a young age, but you also go all the way up through middle school, and it teaches basic fundamentals. And I know that within Upward, like say defense, you can only play man to man, and you're matched up with a certain person based on your wristband. Like just different rules and stuff like that. Just explain to people what that's like with Upward.
Yeah. Again, it's all to give the beginner player, I guess, a bigger chance to have a chance at the ball to shoot, dribble, and score as any player. Because again, just example, you got third and fourth grade girls, and you have 2 or 3 on one team that are very big and fast. Well, if they were allowed to guard and play defensive any way they wanted to, then they could take the ball away from the little girls at will. So in Upward, you have again a score for each player, and you get a colored wristband like red and blue and orange and white and black or whatever. And each child has a colored wristband. So when they play defense, the girl wearing a red wristband can only guard the other girl with the red wristband. She can't run over to the girl who has the ball wearing a white wristband and take the ball away or play defense get her. And so that helps the beginner girl, say, even just have a chance to dribble the ball up court. Say a beginner girl with the white wristband rebounds. She doesn't know how to dribble very well, and she's scared to dribble. And if the other girls who are more advanced could approach her defensively, it would intimidate her, and she'd lose the ball every time. So you don't allow that, and it's frustrating for some of the better players. And I know that I'm a competitor. You're a competitor.
Yes.
Uh, but Upward against trying to teach a fair play, good sportsmanship, Christ-like attitude, winning or losing. We try to teach it's not the most important thing, but we know for a lot of kids it is, and a lot of mothers and fathers it's the most important thing. So we spend a lot of time training the parents and grandparents as much as we do the children.
So I'm glad you brought up sportsmanship. So in Upward, they have these things called stars, and you can put them on your jersey, but every star represents something different, and they're given out after games and stuff. So
Yeah,
just
yeah.
what those are.
Again, I'd have to go by memory.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
have to.
again,
You don't have to give
different
those.
color stars for your participation or performance in the game. And like one of them would be best offensive player for that particular game, best defensive player, best rebounder, best sportsmanship. And we had one that was most special to us as a church was a most Christ-like during that particular game. And so that person, you would say, give out the defensive player, offensive player, save the white star for last. And as a coach, your job is to make that a little bigger deal. We'd like to present John Lewis with our white star today. John, he played exactly like Jesus would play, was a good sport. He never lost his temper. He shared the ball with his other players. He supported and encouraged players. So let's give a big round of applause for John, who won the white star. So the deal. And you try to make it go around. You don't want to, even if you have one guy who's absolutely best offensive player, you don't want to give him the red star every single week. So you might give it to John the next week, or John's most improved in his offense this week. First time John's ever scored, give him, try to spread out the color stars.
Yeah. So we mentioned obviously that this is through churches and through like faith based. So just explain to people how like faith comes into play with through this program. Like just explain how like faith in Jesus and stuff like that comes through this program.
All right, yeah, yeah. Well, again, every coach in training is given a devotional book, and each week during practice, they prefer you do a stop in the middle of practice, have devotional. A lot of times, last time I was in it, you'd have a character trait for that particular week of practice. So, like integrity would be week one. So during your every team would have the exact same devotional, exact same Bible verse for that week. And so the coach, I always try to get somebody besides the head coach to do devotional, maybe one of the mamas or daddies or assistant coach if they could, so the players could see somebody else in authority that they respected. Also talk about the love of Jesus, and always led up to the season is 8 weeks long, and the whole devotional purpose was to lead up to presenting the gospel on the very last day of practice, and present the gospel and give the boys and girls opportunity to pray to receive Christ. Throughout the whole season, that's your goal. Um, that's the things you want most in the world, and is to see boys and girls come to know Christ. And at the end of the season, you have a celebration program where you invite all the children and all their mamas and daddies or brothers and sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles to come to the program. You do some fun stuff and play some fun games and have an entertainer sometimes, maybe a juggler or somebody can walk around on stilts, whatever. Use magicians a lot to entertain the kids. And in their program, they would intertwine the gospel, how to present the gospel in the program they present. Then we would use cards we give out to the boys and girls. They could indicate, I want to know more about Jesus, or today I prayed to have Jesus come into my heart, or I want to learn more, stuff like that. So that's your whole goal, is reaching boys and girls and families for Christ. So it's a whole build up from day one to that final day where you present the gospel to the entire group at one time.
Yeah, isn't there usually like a during games? Is there like a devotional at halftime?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, good. I'm glad you remember. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, yeah. Now for us, most of the time, until you got to middle school, we had two games going, half court games that going on at the same time. So at the half, so both games would stop at the same time for halftime. At that point, one of a volunteer, very often myself, or with the mamas or daddies or coach, would speak to the fans. The players would go with their coaches, have a little halftime, get a little water, and take a break of some sort. And then the volunteer of the day would give a devotional and share the gospel with the fans that are sitting there, mamas and daddies and grandparents. And Sometimes you had to take a moment to remind them about good sportsmanship while their child was
Yeah.
playing the game. Don't get too excited. It was just a 6-year-old playing basketball, but that was one of my favorite times with the halftime devotions because I got to interact with families on a personal basis, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I loved it. I've loved all aspects of upward basketball, whether it be me helping with the scoreboard or helping coach or playing. I know
Yeah,
I
yeah, you're a good scoreboard operator.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I remember one of my favorite parts of upward, besides the game itself, was I remember they would actually call your name and you would run out and they would play the song.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I remember every time I hear this particular song, I'm like, oh, I caught the upward song.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But yeah, I always loved that part. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a highlight. I tried one season to do that differently
Like
and
how?
introduce a team as a whole. And man, I got jumped. I said, no, don't do it that way.
Wait, explain what you're saying.
Well, I tried one time to do something a little different. So I had the whole team come out at one time on the stage. And I said, hey, here are the Tigers today. And everybody would just cheer for the team. I didn't call anybody's name. And the mamas didn't like it. The boys and girls didn't like it. They said that was a bad idea. So
Yeah,
next week we went back to running through the tunnel, had the smoke and had the music and made everybody very happy. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great memory for all kids to get to run through the tunnel.
yeah. So I know we talked a lot about upward basketball, and that's the main thing I wanted to talk about because that's where I was involved within upward. But if you want to very briefly talk about soccer or flag football, because if I would have known you had flag football, I might have been interested. But yeah, just
Yeah, yeah.
through those.
Well, we started, it was several years into, we did basketball maybe 5 or 6 years before we had to acquire a space. We didn't have a football field at church, so we had to rent the field at Compton Elementary School. Uh, and I like flag football and soccer better just because I'm an outside guy and I love being
Oh,
outside. I don't have any regrets at all about upward basketball, but it was more intense because you very often had two games going at a time. So you got about 10, 20, 40, up to 40 players, 10 to 15 cheerleaders, and generally about 3 or 4 fans per kid. So you got, 200 people getting pretty excited the whole time. You got to, run their cassette stand, get the cheerleaders have a halftime show. So flag football obviously is outside, and we did it at Compton Elementary School. All the exact same principles, um, you know, divide into teams by skill levels, and play. We have 2 games at a time, and it was just a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. My favorite soccer story was we actually rented or we combined with McEachern Methodist Church, like we had done that for basketball as well, because they had several softball field, baseball fields. So we moved soccer over to those fields and just had a great time over there doing that. Had a little girl named Mandy, was coaching a team when you're a fine Christian high school girl. And after practice one day, she come running up to me. She was just so excited, a gigantic smile on her face. She said, Mr. Buddy, Mr. Buddy, Mr. Buddy, guess what? I said, what happened? She said, little Susie prayed to receive Christ today.
wow.
She was so excited. And guess where Mandy is today? She's a
Where?
missionary in Spain.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. Every time I see Mandy, she's 40 years old now, but when I see her, I said, man, do you remember when she says, oh, I'll never forget that, Mr. Buddy. Had a great time. So,
That's awesome.
and hey, funny thing about soccer, I know nothing about soccer. I don't know one single rule that I could explain to you about
I don't
soccer.
know a ton.
Yet I refereed many, many soccer games.
Don't tell people that.
Well, the parents knew less than I did.
Oh,
And here's the other thing, soccer players are more honest than basketball players.
okay.
Here's a good example. If you had a scramble for a ball in a basketball game, a bunch of kids chasing it, rolls out, what do all the children say? It was out on John, it was out on Buddy, it was out on John. I didn't touch you, it wasn't
Yeah.
out on me.
Concussion. Yeah.
You got an argument every time. Never once did I have that happen in soccer.
Oh, wow.
The ball went out of bounds. All the players agreed. Oh, it was off the blue team, red team ball. I went, what did you just say? It went out of bounds again. Oh, it was out of me, ref. It was out of me. It goes to the blue team. I went, I've never met players that ever did that before. So it was a lot of fun and had a good time. But a funny story here of this, had a man there. He had twin boys playing, and like you did. They were 4 years old. So the twins are playing, and one boy is just running wide open, having a great time, kicking, playing, chasing. The other little boy stood at midfield and just cried and cried and cried.
Oh,
At
wow.
halftime, the daddy went out, and he's 6'2" like I am, and he stood over the little 4-year-old boy who's, 3 feet tall, and he said to his little son, "Why are you crying? Your team is winning." Like a 4-year-old had no idea what winning even meant. He
Right.
said, "Daddy, they won't let me kick the ball."
Oh, wow.
So I had to meet with the dad a little bit, explain to him, what, let's don't get too competitive with a 4-year-old. Let them relax and play and have a good time.
So,
But it was fun, a lot of fun. So if you combine, say, a full school year, say, I'm trying to remember what year. One year we had 400 and some odd basketball players, cheerleaders, 200 and some odd soccer players, and 150 flag football players. So your church could reach, well, that's almost, 800 kids using the different sports. So it gives you a lot of opportunities the more you spread out.
that's awesome. So, I don't want to keep you too much longer, but you said you also have flag football. I have a friend, and you might actually know him, Chad Cannon, but
Oh, everybody knows Chad Cannon.
but he's really competitive into flag football. I know. So I just want to know. So what are like the basic rules for kids flag football in Upward?
Well, basically, same. You don't guard like you do in basketball. There's no one-on-one guarding, but you wear a belt, and depending on, I don't know, some of the belts have three flags, one on each hip, one in the very back, and generally they're Velcro attached. So if you have the football and you're running for attempting to score, all somebody has to do is reach up there and pull one of your flags off, and the play stops right there. So that's how you make a tackle, is pulling the flag off. Um, and then you can, I don't remember exactly the rules about defense, but pretty much you just play a zone defense. We did ask in open rules that they rotate, like who got to play quarterback and who had
I
to
was
be the
gonna ask that.
center. Yeah. Otherwise, one kid, it could be the star. He played quarterback every single, play of every game. Other kids, every kid thinks they're a good quarterback. So
Right.
you,
Everybody wants
you, yeah, yeah, you rotate that around a little bit. And otherwise, it's just basic, good old football. Well, you would have a field, I think, was 70 yards in total length and 30 yards wide.
Oh,
So when
okay.
you started the ball on what they call the 20, which is really about 5 yards into the field of play from the end zone line, and you had four plays to pass the midfield line to make a first down. There's no such thing as first downs. You either cross the midfield and get another set of downs, or you have to give the ball to the other team. So let's say it's your fourth down play and you're still way back at your 5 yard line. You can say, we want to punt. Well, all that means is you walk to the other end, referee takes the ball, walks to the other end, puts it on the other team's 5, and says first down the other direction. There's no kicking of any sort in upward flag football. But when you cross midfield, you get a fresh set of four downs to try to score. If you don't score, then either you can go for it on fourth down if you want to and try to score, or you can say, we want to punt and just give the ball back to the other team and play defense.
Okay. Yeah, I never knew those rules.
Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah, a little different. So a little strategy involved, with the coach. Because say if you're on your own 5, again, they call it the 20, and it's fourth down, you decide to go for it. If you don't make it, then the other team gets the ball right there on your 20 and 5 yards away from a touchdown.
And
Oh,
do
nothing's really important
oh
in flag
yes.
football. There's no such thing as a fumble. The ball hits the ground, you blow the whistle, it's completely dead. Nobody should ever try to recover because kids don't have helmets, and you don't want 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids diving onto the dirt try to recover a fumble. So as soon as there's a fumble, the play stops where the ball hit the ground. You start all over.
Yeah, I had a friend. She played girls flag football in high school, and I remember that rule about fumble.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's purely a safety thing. Our last 2 years, we bought the little foam padded, just call them helmets, for our kids to wear because we never had a concussion. We had some that were pretty close. Kids bang their head together.
Ooh.
So safety first. That's what mamas want to know. Are my kid going to be safe out here or not? Because all children had to wear a mouthpiece, to protect their teeth and mouth when they played flag football and stuff like that. So safety first. It was a lot of fun.
And then I'm trying to think. So that's pretty much all I've got about Upward. And you mentioned you working at the YMCA. Was there anywhere else you worked at as far as like recreational sports or anything like that?
Well, I worked at another church, First Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama. We did sports and recreation there. They were going to build a Christian Life Center Recreation Center and decided not to. So I had to leave that. That's the reason I went into the business world because they didn't pursue a sports recreation ministry. But I started at a YMCA camp, and that's one of my favorite memories of all time. Started working at camp and with kids, and same thing. We had devotional every night in the cabin. We spent the night, and you could take the kids horseback riding or water skiing, overnight camping trips, had a fishing, crafts, a lot of good fun stuff with kids at a camp. Every kid, well, I don't say every kid, a lot of kids love to go camping and play games, that kind of stuff, spend the night in the woods and kind of stuff. And then after I got after summer's over, I did get a job at the YMCA. And what's interesting too is my brother, when he got out of the Marines, uh, ooh maybe 60 years ago now, he went to work for the brand new YMCA in Prattville, Alabama. And he worked at the Prattville Y for 50 years before he retired.
Wow.
So my family is sports, recreation nuts. My mom played senior Olympic softball till she was almost 70. Uh, my dad coached back in the day when I was a kid, church men played fast pitch softball. There was no such thing as slow pitch except for women. So I love fast pitch softball. And now I got to watch girls play it instead of men. But it's a great sport. So
So
enjoyed a lot of that.
there was one thing I forgot to mention about Upward Sports. So my podcast, it's called Autism Athletics, and I have autism. No, I played with the regular people, but I still have a brother who's lower functioning than me. But I don't know if you had this back when you were there, but when Adam was there, I know we would always talk about the Challengers League.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Will you explain what that is?
Yeah. That was a planted in my heart by the Holy Spirit to reach boys and girls with special needs. I have an older brother that's totally deaf and somewhat, mentally challenged. So we didn't get to do a lot of sports because of that. And so I began to think, and I talked to a lot of churches. Nobody was doing a special needs basketball league. And I called, I think, 10 different just government run, I guess, recreation programs around America, from Dallas, Texas to Los Angeles to Oregon. And what I learned is that none of them had really big crowds of kids. That was kind of my fear when I thought about starting it. But what if have 100, 150 special needs children show up? There's no way. Because I know a lot of them just have to have one-on-one attention with some of the kids and their needs. Some are in wheelchairs, some are on crutches, some have, say spinal bifida or something that are very limited in their mobility. So I began praying how I could get that done. And finally, somebody gave me a name of a lady. Oh, I'm so embarrassed I forgot her name all of a sudden. She did special needs PE for Cobb County for 30 or 40 years.
Uh-huh.
And so I reached out to her and I said, I sure like to talk to you about how to get that going. She said, I've been looking for you. So we met, and I might be exaggerating a little bit. We just looked at each other And tears came to my eyes, tears came to her eyes. She says, I've been waiting for years and years for a church that wants to do this. I said, I've been waiting for years to find somebody who could teach me how to do it. So we combined, had a great job, and just had a fabulous, maybe 10 years together, I think, doing Challenger. And Adam fell in love with it, was very helpful. And I'm most grateful and thankful to Adam to keep that continuing. Because you may remember, you might see some, we had some of them that did that with us for 10 or 12 years. They started when they were just 5 or 6 years old, and in high school, they're still coming. That one, I believe his name was John, and he was mentally challenged, I guess, much as anything. Wasn't very coordinated kind of stuff, but he absolutely loved being out there. And he showed up one day at practice, and we're talking. He says, Miss Buddy, why don't you have any hair? You're so ugly, you don't have any hair. I said, well, if I had hair like you, I'd be even uglier. He said, that's not true. So, yeah, he was one of my favorite. And then I tell you what helped us turn the corner. We had, first several years, we didn't have any children with Down syndrome. And then we got one or two, and then it just kind of exploded. More and more came in that way. What I loved about, one of the things I love a lot about Challenger special needs is watching the parents just relax for about an hour, hour and a half. And somebody else was, taking their child by the hand. Some of them had to hold by their hand and walk them to each end of the court, hand them the basketball, and help them try to shoot. The mamas and dads could just sit back and relax and watch their child have a good time. But it was a lot of fun, but you had to be extremely careful because some children would be, I guess, not to be derogatory, would call runners. If you turned your back, they would just run out the nearest door and disappear. So we had to keep people near doorways so we didn't lose any children. Lost one kid one day for a couple of minutes and found him just walking around outside. So, but it was a great time and loved it a lot. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a special memory.
Oh yeah, I have a heart for that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. We should go see Adam. He's still doing it. He could use your help.
Okay. Well, that about wraps it up. That's all I have for today. Thank you, Buddy, so much for doing this, and I really appreciate it. And I hope that more people and families just will decide to give upward and basketball and other upward sports a try. So thank you so
I
much.
sure hope they do too. Thank you so much. It's an honor to speak with you today.
Oh yeah, thank you.
See you later.
See ya.